Hi, everybody. My name is Christina Inge, and I am the Vice President of Quilters Connection, which is the largest quilt guild in Massachusetts. And I also have a day job. I'm a marketing consultant, and I'm also on 3 other boards, which is why I'm very time-pressed. We all have a stash of yarn or fabric, and we're all probably pretty embarrassed about how big it's gotten. But I'm here to tell you that you do not need to live in shame about your stash. You just need to have a plan to use it up so that good supplies are not languishing, lying around bored with nothing to do. You need to give them a purpose in life. You need to free them from those plastic bins underneath your bed and give them life and let them breathe. Why do we have these colossal stashes of yarn or fabric, or if you're both a knitter and quilter, both? How does this happen? Well, to get to the root of the problem, we really don't need to, because we just need to get through it. But is that even really a question? I mean, it was on sale, someone gave it to us, it's a UFO, it looked useful. Or my personal theory is that it grows overnight in the closet like some kind of fungus, and you open it in the morning. And this is what it should look like, organized by fiber and color, and it should look like that. This is what your stash is in your dreams, but in reality, it probably just falls on your head when you open the closet. But if you don't organize your stash somewhat, you can't use it up because you can't find it. You don't know if you have yellow fabric. You don't know if you have pink yarn. You just know you've got stuff in there somewhere. So the first step to busting through that stash, especially if you're time-pressed, is to find a filing system. And here are a couple of the ways you can sort yarn. It could be by color or fiber or season, like linen or wool. For fabric, it could be color, time period, whether it's quilting or home dec, seasonality. But once you've got your stash organized, you've got all these free supplies, and you should feel free to experiment with it because, frankly, you weren't using it anyway. They're free supplies. Or at least that's what I tell myself. What do you do now, though, with all of this stash? Well, if there's quilting fabric and it's a lot of it, you can use it for all kinds of great stuff. You can be using it for setting squares in a quilt. You can make a wide strippy. If you have half yards, and if this goes by really fast, I'll email you with a handout of all these wonderful ideas. You can make string quilts. If it's really, really ugly, you might actually want to use it on the front of a quilt, because I've found some of the most hideous fabrics make the most beautiful quilts. For knitting, this is your opportunity, because it's free, to make all those yarn-intensive stitches like cable that just eat up all of your yarn, because, hey, you weren't using it anyway. It's free. If you have a ton of the same amount of yarn, you can make afghans, throw pillows, afghans and throw pillows. If you've got a lot of scraps of the same fiber, I have 2 words for you: K. Fassett. Read his books. He's really, really good at using multiple colors. And yeah, if you really get desperate, I saw this in a parking lot in Lowell. I really did. And this woman, she was in the Starbucks. I never got to meet this genius, but she has become my inspiration. The moral of the story is to be brave and experiment. Maybe not as brave as these women in the 19th century were, but they had a lot of time on their hands, and maybe there was some fashion for wearing a Santa hood with fringe and tassels. But what you can really use your stash for, and to give it a more serious note, is charities. There are charities out there where you can use up your stash and feel good, and people really do need your quilts, hats, gloves, and scarves. This is the charity that I serve on the board of. It's wrapped up in sports. We make sports-themed quilts for children in mental health, medical, or social need, and we often have sports heroes donate the quilts to the children around the time of the holidays. February 18th, we're having our 2nd annual Quiltathon in the EMC room at Fenway Park. Those are the expensive seats where the other half gets to watch the game. They serve hot dogs on good china there. And dozens of women gather together with Wally the Green Monster, and our goal is to make 100 quilts this year to benefit Horizons for Homeless Children, Children's Hospital, and Room to Grow, and you do get to quilt alongside Wally. Again, it's February 18th. Wrappedupinsports.org is the website, and if you want the handout of all those wonderful ideas for stash busting, my Twitter handle is Christina Inge, and I'd be happy to send it to you. Thanks.